So it's about 4 a.m. on a Thursday morning. Just at a lovely scene here, and just feeling like garbage as usual, man. Sadly, um, geez, man, this is a very hard existence as a targeted individual. You know, when your health's in a real bad way. Yeah, I think of my old dog. He was such a legend. He was always just trying to have fun right till the end, and what a beautiful dog. Like, you know, this fucking world, it's like you never have any proper connection, and of course, you know, it just so happens you can't communicate with a dog, can you? You can't really speak the words. It's just typical, man, that the being that really would do everything to try to like communicate with you, you know, you've got that language there to impede you, that language barrier. Yeah, and many of us, we have these narcissistic family members that, you know, they abuse the shit out of you, like, and it's pointless even sharing the same language. But yeah, man, I find it hard to continue, like, you know, fucking just putting out good stuff that entertains people or uplifts them, and you're never allowed to talk about this, man. It's brutal. It's really so inhumane. It's just so appalling. Yeah, I'm holding back. I don't. I feel bad burdening anyone. You know, it's the thing, you keep it to yourself, you know, and of course, you know, you bear it all, and then someone's gonna come out of the woodwork and humiliate you. You know, it's fucking awful like that. Geez, man, like the things that are expected of us. You know, when you're being absolutely physically wrecked, you have your health stolen. You know, you're gaslighted on every step, every aspect of it all. It's wild. I can understand why people say, and maybe they're right, you know, that everyone around us gets fucking MK'd or something. Yeah, I only met one person face to face. I have a good friend online. Well, we're not really good friends, but they're a lovely person. But yeah, I've only met one person in real life that I could have told all this to, and they would have, you know, they would have done their best to like look into it, and they would have been honest, like, with me, whether they believed it all or not. But even that person, I didn't want to burden them, because we had a lovely day out. You know, it was an old friend, and we met up, and we hiked a trail, and we had a brilliant day. And on the drive back, I could have told them, and I was like, you know what, man, we had such a good day. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to ruin the day. A day like that is just so rare in my life that I don't want to just shit all over his mind with the horrible, you know, targeting stuff. It really is like some sort of fucking covert persecution of, I hesitate to say it, but the relative saints, you know, relative, like, none of us are perfect. I've sinned a lot. But some of us, you know, we were fearless truth speakers, and for whatever reason, you know, like a lot of people, they never see any of it. It's a safe place to be, man. I kind of wish I was one of them. I don't know if you saw that, one of these one of these satellites just massively like lit up overhead. I think it was just out of, where was it? It was up here somewhere. It may have been just out of the frame. Probably was, I'm not sure. I don't know what that's about. I know the sun's about to come up, you know, a couple of hours or something, but I don't know why it lit up. Just one of these satellites lit up like that. Yeah, man, it sucks. There's no deep connection. You know, I admit it, there's times like, you know, when the health is bad and you're feeling very unwell, it's brutal, man. It's absolutely brutal. Would have been nice to have a sense of community, you know. It would have been nice to have an average health situation where, you know, if you look after yourself, you should be able to have a reasonable existence. So what kind of world is it where your old folks have far less health issues than you know? They have more energy and vitality. It's just such a fucking, it's a mockery, man. Absolute mockery. But yeah, man, the health situation's very fucking chaotic, you know, from just like a 10 minutes of like calm health, that's like a luxury now. It's fucking wild. I don't know if any of you guys, your health is just steadily going downhill. There's no like miraculous comeback. I hope there is, of course. I wish everyone, you know, the best, other than those who covertly harm people. You know, the one I know who did that to me, they're fine, even though they're on like hard narcotics. They're fine. It's, you know, massively abusing them. It's just wild. It makes no sense. Everything's just so fucking inverted. It's absolutely wild to me. Like, we're in this, you know, fifth generation warfare, blah blah blah, whatever, and there's still all these people going on about healing. You know, the inner work, the nervous system resets and all this. When you're in a, you know, a fucking frequency gulag that can fuck you up, you know, continually every day, and barely anyone talks about it. And I guess, you know, those who do and they try to raise the alarm, then they get, you know, targeted. But meantime, the people who are completely oblivious, they're fine. You know, they most of them, I guess. I know it's complicated. You know, there's all sorts of nuances, and you know, a lot of people probably are like mildly targeted, and they just have no idea because it looks like, you know, it's subtle enough that they assume it's some sort of organic health problem. But yeah, man, I'm yeah, just struggling. It's total poisonation, like the air now, because they're treating the shit ponds with some sort of chemicals, and it's like literally a sulfuric acid gas wafts over the city. That got me pretty bad last week. I'm pretty sure it was that, but yeah, there's just so many toxins that you don't know what's doing what, you know, and obviously these fucking authorities aren't going to find out, are they? you're patching up a leaky boat, a leaky gut, a leaky blood-brain barrier. I think that's the main, I would say that's probably the main cause of my poisoning, is why I get poisoned more than, have that sensitivity to so-called, to chemicals and stuff. That's what this targeting, one of the things it's meant to do is just open that up, and then you're more vulnerable to these poisons and neurotoxins, and then, in my case, the family just pile on, and whatever happened to them, it seems like it's happened to a lot of boomers, but mine seem to be like, more severe. The empathy's just turned off, and that's a very mild way of putting it. Very fucking mild. We're obviously massively conditioned to not burden anyone with the details, and then when you don't, people don't get the message that, you're living with monsters, and then they just assume they'll just drop in the one line or something about, oh, at least you got the family or something, and it's just, you're almost going to do the Joker laugh, the fucking Joker laugh. The family's just there, they're an extension of the gov system, and they're just fucking ruining you, And homelessness is the only way out. It's brutal, man. I'm really surprised how few TIs talk about their chemical sensitivity. It really, I wouldn't say it to them because I don't want to like gaslight anyone or anything, but I really do wonder how many are targeted like properly, like physically being messed with. How many have that high-pitched sound in the head? 9 years for me of that continuously. Just a total war, man. You're living with poisoners. You have a chat to the AI, and then it's like, I'm sure many of you have done this, and then they're just like, oh, you're having a hard time. Oh, cool, like 0800, whatever the fuck. And that may help. There may be good people, some good people in the system, but then, they're asleep, aren't they? You can't get into any of the stuff that's like of the big, important pieces of the puzzle. Don't know if there's any Borax bathers listening. That's the other thing, man, on Facebook. There's all these chuckleheads laughing. Whether it's the truth of people or the normies, they're all laughing, and it's just so toxic. I don't know if a borax bath is meant to be good for you or not, It's meant to be a fucking ant killer. All these people talking about detoxing. It's really not that simple, When I had money, I'd go to a naturopath, and he said to me twice, like, it's not for you, don't do that, because some of these suggestions, I can't remember exactly what ones he said, but, he mentioned it pulls it out of your storage, like all the toxins, and it goes into your bloodstream, and then you get really sick, so, you have to be fucking careful, Like, some of the alternate stuff is fucking dangerous. You can be sure the system would have, like, put out a bunch of bullshit to us as well, Sorry, this is it's a miserable video, I'm aware, but that's when the truth seems to really want to come out, is just when it's dire. It's a pretty dire situation. When you got a bit of health, it's, and you feel just sort of moderately bad, but not really bad. you can kind of just keep on keeping on, can't you? I don't know how TIs are still fucking going to the gym and stuff, man. I haven't exercised like intensely for years, man. Because it wasn't safe, That's the honest truth. Yeah, geez, man. When you see other people, just your age and stuff, and even older, and they're like out of shape and they're still running and stuff. It's amazing, man. It really does highlight. Sorry, it highlights just how sickly I've become. It's a reminder. You got all these like Jesus copers and that, and look, mate, I get it. Like if you got no one else, sometimes I'll try to like give it all to God. Hey God, you fucking carry this. Have some of this. Have some of this. You put fucking Satan here, didn't you? And the demons and all this. You're able to like, you know, rebuke and repel the demons, on a whim, but you don't. So take my fucking burden for me. I'll say that, and sometimes it helps. But it's only a temporary relief. Probably showers help more than anything. I used to try all that like supernatural healing and everything, and the Neville Goddard stuff and all of it. None of it got me anywhere. The thing that did help was magnesium. I probably can't even say that. Just tangible 3D stuff. Drinking more water, light walks, doing some calf raises, having showers. Sleeping at the right time, even though it's a fucking catch-22, when you live with these people, you just try to stay up at night to avoid them. But yeah, man, it is just kind of like staring out into the abyss, and, I'm sorry, sorry this is a bleak video, just being honest, man. Yeah, I hope for you TIs that I used to see them. I don't see them anymore. Just the real, like, in a desperate state TIs where you're homeless. And I hope fucking God is there for you, man. I hope you have something. Really do. He ain't been there for me, People might say well-intentionally God's there right beside you. And I've read the Bible and it really doesn't make me feel better. There's a lot of lines in that book that get me really angry, but I'm glad it works for people. Yeah, I would have been better off like living in some sort of like dog shelter or something, man. I've always found dogs have been the best support. But anyway, this is probably a bit too brutally honest and personal, People love personal and authenticity on YouTube, don't they? But not when it comes to this, Not when it comes to this horror show ZZ song. Oh, there's a shooting star. I'll make a wish. Need about 1,000 of them. I'll just pretend the Starlinks are all shooting stars. I talked to a TI the other day. We had a great talk. It's only the second time I've done it, and both times it was really nice. It did help. They mentioned that they reckon, they'd heard that there aren't that many of these Starlinks. And you know, that it was exaggerated, but you know, going by the time lapses I've done, it does seem like there's shit tons of them. Even in a little area of sky, there'll be like, I see, you know, half a dozen or something. But anyways, yeah, I better get going. I guess the morning traffic's about to start up, and fuck, man, I wonder about these people who cope so well still. Like, I don't know if we're all the same here. If you know what it is, nature or nurture, or if some brains are just designed to be like steely psychopaths that just function like machines and they never get overstressed. I just don't know how people are coping now. People working with families, I have no idea how they're doing it. So the traffic starts up at 5 a.m. You can just hear the cars going and going, and they come around the corner, wah, wah, just every like 10 seconds. Don't want to get too dark with it, man. I was just going to say some scene out of like a war movie, but it's a bit much. You know, you don't want to burden people too much, but yeah, just so hold back saying what you really want to say, but it's just bad, eh? Like, surprised there aren't more people losing it. You just bottle it all in, and then until the body can't handle it anymore. Yeah, man, sucks to be a science experiment. But pity they couldn't have used it, you know, the other way rather than harming the dual use tech. Pity they couldn't have used it to like, you know, let us drink and smoke weed and everything, and then they just like remedy it all from afar with that little bit of tinnitus, and then they just fix our bodies, and then we can go back to drinking and feeling great, you know, feeling relaxed and happy and merry, because I fucking miss that. I really hate being sober, you know, all it's done is just make me feel anxious, you know, depressed. I fucking hate being sober. You know, I used to love having a few beers, having a bit of a smoke, you know, but yeah, you know, I just had to give all that up years ago. Anyway, man, I don't even know who I'm fucking talking to. Like, probably there will be someone who's stared, waiting to tell me targeting's not real, and it's like, you are a very lucky person, you know. Anyone who says that, you are so lucky. Yeah, I can understand, why people say they're in the Truman Show. People talk about NPCs. You know, there's a lot going on, isn't there? Shadow banning and all sorts of things like that, and it never feels right to just brazenly just bring this up when the occasional time I meet a friend or something, an old friend. You know, and then they just look at you and looking at like shit, and they just come to conclusions, you know, make their own conclusions. You know, that you're not looking after yourself, whereas I can honestly say, man, I'm pretty much doing everything I can for the health. It doesn't even help much, you know. Anyway, I hope you guys are fucking faring better than I am. Yeah. No fucking healing from this motherfucker God, eh? I want to say a lot more, you know. I admit it, I cuss him out quite often. You know, you can look at the God any which way, can't you? Like, he's a sovereign God, he's in control, and, you know, some people, they're like, he's allowing it for a greater good, and I fucking disagree, you motherfucker. Like, I disagree. There's no greater good for me, at least, than this. The greater good would have been if I had my health restored. Okay, I get it, right? I've been humbled enough, motherfucker. Can I have some health now? I can go back to like doing some writing or something and producing something decent, you know? Something that might uplift people or give them a sense of wonder or something. But it's like, nah, man, I have the view that this is just to destroy anyone who's got an uplifting contribution. And this God allows it, and you know, you can say anything, can't you? Free will or whatever. You can really spin it any which way. I've looked into it for enough, you know, many years. I don't know how people talk about it all so confidently. You know, for all I know, we're persecuted for being moderately righteous, you know, for speaking the truth. Some of us ain't got any, we don't have a hedge of protection, you know, like these these healthy TIs claim. You know, if they have it, they should use it and do more activism, but they don't, do they? As far as I know. Just warring against spirits will be a lot safer, I imagine, than you know, trying to do 3D stuff. I can't bear that stuff anymore, you know, it just gets too aggravating. See these healthy TIs. Yeah, one of the last lunacies I've seen a couple of comments saying this sort of thing. I returned the due to sender. I feel sorry for whoever sent it, like the directed energy stuff. They return it to the sender in the name of Jesus, right? I don't know if they're really getting targeted. Yeah, I wouldn't bother saying it to them. It's just might be too triggering, but you don't know what people are going through. But I've never managed to get any relief and have this high-pitched sound stopped by, no matter how much I begged Jesus or not. You know, it didn't matter if I stopped sinning as best I can. You know, it seems like we're all sinners. Everything's a sin. So, but it didn't make any difference. I think it's all a big fucking psyop, all that spiritual stuff. It's just, you know, 3D, non-consensual human experimentation, you know. Start talking about all this religious stuff, it's a brilliant discreditor, distraction. Just more fog for it all to hide in, for this technology to hide in. I don't know when it's actually going to help anyone. This dual-use technology, you know, maybe once everyone's fully in control, you know, like some demolition man society, then they're going to start repairing brains and things. Repairing the damage they did with all the poisonings, the plethora of poisons. Anyway, sorry, yeah, not uplifting, I'm just being honest. Being fucking honest, man. And lastly, you know, F Dr. Grande. Just want to throw that in there. Don't know if he's still going.